and yet to be satisfied. My credit is not so good that I can run up the level of expense you demand, for in doing so I face ruin." Di Stefano was good at theatricality of the outre sort, and he did the misery of impending penury well, both in his wretched facial expression and by the way his plump body slumped, as if suddenly afflicted by a great weight, to the point where even his knees, giving way slightly, played a part. It was a hard case to argue against, it being no mystery that His Majesty's government was notoriously tardy when it came to meeting the expenses incurred by its agents abroad. "Sir William Hamilton may undertake to reimburse you." Now the mobile Di Stefano countenance, puffy from imbibing and dark-skinned from the climate, morphed into an image fitting to the burial of a dear friend, one which John Pearce had been witness to on the day he and Di Stefano interred the 10 men he'd lost in the recent fight, one which took him back to that desperate battle that had occasioned the damage which, if it could be counted as an ultimate success, was not much of one. "I must question whether the income from Sir William's estates, which he uses to maintain his own position in Naples, are sufficient to bear as well the cost of my duties." John Pearce suspected there was something of a lie in that. Sir William Hamilton was the ambassador to the Kingdom of Naples, and had to be a direct link between Sicily and London, even to the cost of the consul's duties here on the island. If he thought it, he could not say for certain he was being misled. For all he knew, Sir William, a man he had met on only 2 brief occasions, and a seeming gentleman, might be as sluggish at meeting his obligations as the clerks working under the Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs in London. "Might I point out, sir," Pearce said in an emollient tone, "that costs do not diminish with time. I am running out of ship's stores, and with what I'm obliged to buy locally, am low on the funds needed to keep fed my crew." "Added to your other obligations, Capitane," Di Stefano cut in with an oily tone, unable to keep a sly look off that mobile countenance, unwittingly preventing Pearce from mentioning another expense, the bill for those wounded and still accommodated in the lazaretto. "For you have too the burden of your bella signora." Was the reference to Emily Berkeley's married estate a dig? Pearce could not tell, but he was not going to let any comment on something that had already caused difficulties pass unchallenged, and this time his reply was quite brusque. "The lady of whom you speak meets her own obligations, sir." "Then you are doubly blessed," the consul sniffed, adding a toss of the eyes that indicated his lack of belief that what was being imparted to him could possibly be the case. "It would be better if we stick to the subject at hand, signor, which is how I am to get my ship into a fit state to sail back to join the fleet of which I am a part, and on whose behalf you are tasked to lend every effort consistent with your office. I might add that I am required by my station to note every difficulty I experience in my log, which will in time come to the attention of others, both the fleet commander and the Admiralty in London." Di Stefano now chose to play the part of a man deeply offended, pouting in an exaggerated fashion as if he were being threatened in a meaningful way, which Pearce, even if he had hinted at the possibility, thought absurd. What harm could a mere lieutenant in the King's Navy, and one that was less than loved in the places of power that mattered, do to him? He huffed a bit and puffed a bit, as well as rolling his eyes, and pulled out a large square handkerchief with which to wipe his brow. Pearce was tempted to tell the consul he had missed his true calling. Given his comedic abilities, he would have had them rolling in the aisles if he'd chosen a career on the London stage. "I must leave you, sir, to consider which is the lesser of 2 evils, the crew of my ship begging at your door for sustenance, or you meeting the requirements for the necessary repairs." Seeing the consul now swell up to a proud puffball, Pearce added quickly, and with faux sympathy, for he knew he'd been too critical for his purpose. Without Di Stefano's aid, he might be stuck in Palermo till eternity, so he added a total falsehood, designed to take the wind out of his sails. "And please be aware, I am not in ignorance of the problems this presents to a man of your abilities. Commitment to